Hey there, you're looking kind of cute. Don't forget to subscribe and check out all my other socials. Enjoy. A harsh scraping sound came as someone searched through a trash bag filled with torn papers and old coffee grounds. A few small white pills rolled out onto the street. They came from a small orange bottle, like beads falling from a broken string. Gabriel? The voice came from inside the garage. Another person stood still at the kitchen window, watching the older man read the label on the bottle through the curtains. What is this? Loud steps hit the porch. The door burst open. Dad, I can explain. Estrogen? You're throwing away medicine? His father was red-faced. He shook the bottle, gray stubble on his jaw. Do you know how much these cost? Gabriel stood in the hallway, shoulders low under a gray hoodie. His auburn hair was longer than before, nearly touching his thin shoulders. I couldn't anymore. Couldn't what? Take the medicine that's helping you? His father's voice became softer. The anger turned into something else, maybe worry or fear. Son, talk to me. Don't call me that. The words came out harsher than Gabriel meant. His hands were fists in his hoodie pockets. Sorry, I didn't mean... No, I'm sorry. Gabriel, please, help me understand. They stood there in the narrow hallway, family photos watching from cream-colored walls. In one, a younger version of Gabriel grinned beside a Little League trophy. In another, the same face looked uncomfortable in a graduation cap and gown. It's too hard. Gabriel's voice cracked. Everyone stares. My voice doesn't match. I'll never look right. I'll never be... Be what? Her. Melanie. The person I see when I close my eyes. His father set the pill bottle on the hall table, next to a bowl of keys and loose change. Large hands, calloused from years of construction work, reached out to grip thin shoulders. You remember when you were 8? You wanted to quit piano lessons. Dad, this isn't the same. Let me finish. You said your fingers were too short, that you'd never play like the teacher, but you kept at it. And at your recital, you played that Chopin piece perfectly. This is different. This is my whole life. Exactly why you can't give up. His father's brown eyes searched Gabriel's face. I've watched you these past months. You smile more. You laugh. Really laugh, not that fake thing you used to do. When you came home wearing that purple dress last week, you looked alive. Lavender, Gabriel corrected quietly. It was lavender. See? That right there. The old you never cared about colors. His father picked up the prescription bottle, pressed it into Gabriel's palm. Being happy as Melanie, isn't that worth fighting for? Tears blurred Gabriel's vision. The bottle felt heavy, heavier than its actual weight. What if I fail? What if I'm never enough? Then you'll still be my kid, but I don't think you'll fail. His father pulled him into a hug, the kind that smelled like sawdust and aftershave. Now go take your medicine. And maybe tomorrow, wear that lavender dress again. You look beautiful in it. Gabriel nodded against his father's flannel shirt, clutching the bottle tight. The next morning arrived with golden sunlight streaming through bedroom curtains. The lavender dress hung on the closet door, pressed and ready. Beside it, a white cardigan waited on a wooden hanger. Melanie, because that's who looked back from the mirror now, applied lip gloss with steady hands. Her auburn hair caught the morning light, falling in soft waves past her shoulders. The dress fit perfectly, its modest neckline and knee-length hem exactly what she wanted. The cardigan added a touch of innocence, its pearl buttons catching the light. She descended the stairs slowly, one hand on the banister. The house smelled like coffee and bacon. In the kitchen, her father stood at the stove, spatula in hand. Morning, beautiful. On the table sat a bouquet of flowers, white roses mixed with purple irises. Beside them, a small envelope waited. My daughter, written across the front in her father's blocky handwriting. Dad, Melanie's voice caught. Open it. Inside, a simple card with a watercolor butterfly on the front. The message inside was brief. Watching you become yourself is the greatest gift a father could ask for. Love always, Dad. You didn't have to. Yes, I did. Sit. Breakfast is almost ready. Melanie settled into her usual chair, the lavender fabric spreading across her lap. Her father set down a plate of eggs and bacon, then poured orange juice into her favorite glass. "So what's the plan today?" "I have a job interview." Melanie's stomach fluttered. "At the bookstore downtown, as Melanie." "That's wonderful. You'll do great." He refilled his coffee mug, steam rising between them. "Want me to drive you?" "No, I think I need to do this myself." "Fair enough, but I'm here if you need me." They ate in comfortable silence. Outside, birds sang morning songs. A neighbor's lawnmower hummed in the distance. Normal sounds of a normal day, except everything had changed. "Dad?" "Thank you. For yesterday, for today, for everything." He reached across the table, squeezed her hand. His fingers were rough, familiar, safe. "Thank you for trusting me, for letting me be part of this." After breakfast, Melanie helped wash dishes. Her father hummed off-key while scrubbing pans. She dried each plate carefully, setting them in the rack. "You know," he said, elbow deep in soapy water, "your mother would be proud." Melanie's hands stilled on the dish towel. They rarely talked about her mother, gone 5 years now from cancer. "You think so?" "I know so. She always said you had her eyes. Now you have her grace, too." The clock chimed 9. Melanie grabbed her purse, a simple black leather bag she'd bought last month, and checked her reflection in the hall mirror one last time. "Knock 'em dead, sweetheart." She turned back to see her father standing in the kitchen doorway, dish towel slung over his shoulder. He looked older than she remembered, gray creeping into his beard, lines deeper around his eyes. But his smile was real, proud, unchanging. "I love you, Dad." "Love you too, Melanie." The name sounded right on his lips, natural, like it had always belonged there. Outside, the world waited. The sun warmed her face as she walked down the driveway. Mrs. Henderson waved from her garden, trowel in hand. "Good morning, dear. Love the dress." "Thank you," Melanie waved back, her white cardigan bright in the morning light. Each step felt lighter than the last. The prescription bottle sat secure in her purse, pills taken with breakfast. Her father's card rested beside it, a reminder that she wasn't alone. The bus stop stood 3 blocks away. Other commuters waited, a woman in scrubs, a man reading a newspaper, 2 college students sharing earbuds. Nobody stared, nobody whispered. Melanie was just another woman heading into town, lavender dress swaying with each movement. When the bus arrived, she climbed aboard with practiced ease. Sitting by the window, she watched familiar streets pass by. The barber shop where she'd gotten haircuts for 20 years. The sports bar where she'd pretended to care about football. All part of a life that felt increasingly distant. Downtown approached with its mix of old brick buildings and modern storefronts. The bookstore occupied a corner spot, its green awning shading displays of bestsellers and staff picks. A help wanted sign hung in the window. Melanie stood outside for a moment, gathering courage. Through the glass, she could see customers browsing, a cashier ringing up purchases, normal bookstore activity. Her reflection stared back, auburn hair neat, lavender dress pristine, white cardigan buttoned just so. "You can do this," she whispered. The door chimed as she entered, the smell of books and coffee wrapped around her like a familiar blanket. Behind the counter, a woman with silver hair looked up from sorting returns. "Good morning. How can I help you?" "I'm here about the job opening. I have an interview with Margaret." "Oh, wonderful. You must be Melanie. I'm Margaret." The woman extended her hand. "Right on time. Shall we chat in the back office?" They walked past shelves of mysteries and romances, philosophy and cooking. The office was small but cozy, with 2 chairs and a desk covered in publishers' catalogs. "Please have a seat. Can I get you anything? Water? Coffee?" "Water would be lovely, thank you." Margaret returned with 2 bottles of water and settled behind the desk. Her eyes were kind behind wire-rimmed glasses. "So tell me about yourself." Melanie had practiced this part. She spoke about her love of books, her retail experience from college, her attention to detail. She didn't mention the years spent in an office job that crushed her soul, or the months of therapy that led to this moment. "Your resume is impressive, and you clearly know books." Margaret leaned back. "Can you work weekends?" "Absolutely." How about starting this Saturday? We'll train you on the register, show you our inventory system. This Saturday? Melanie's heart raced. You mean, I got the job? If you want it. The pay isn't much to start, but there's room for growth. Yes, I'd love to work here. They shook hands again. Margaret walked her to the front, chatting about employee discounts and scheduling. At the door, she paused. Melanie, welcome to the team. We're glad to have you. Outside, the sun had climbed higher. The morning chill had burned away, leaving perfect spring weather. Melanie practically floated down the sidewalk. She had a job, as herself, as Melanie. Her phone buzzed, a text from her father. How'd it go? She typed back quickly. I got it. Start Saturday. 3 dots appeared immediately. Then, proud of you. Celebration dinner tonight? Yes, please. The bus ride home passed in a blur of happiness. She texted friends, sharing the news. Each response, congratulations, excitement, pride, added to her joy. Back home, she found her father in the garage, sanding a cabinet door. Sawdust floated in the afternoon light. There's my working girl. Dad. But she was smiling too wide to be truly embarrassed. Seriously, congratulations. This calls for something special. How about that Italian place you like? With the unlimited breadsticks? Where else? She changed from the lavender dress into jeans and a pink blouse, carefully hanging the dress back in her closet. It had brought her luck. She'd wear it again for her first day of work. Dinner was perfect. They sat in a corner booth, sharing stories and breadsticks. Her father asked about the bookstore, the interview, her new boss. He listened with genuine interest, occasionally reaching for his water when emotion threatened to overwhelm. You know what this calls for? He flagged down their server. Dessert, the biggest piece of tiramisu you have. Dad, I'm stuffed. We're celebrating. My daughter got her first job as herself. That's worth some extra calories. The word daughter still sent warmth through her chest. Each time he said it, it felt more real, more permanent. They shared the dessert, forks battling over the last bite of mascarpone. Around them, other diners enjoyed their meals, unaware of the small miracle at table 12. I keep thinking about Mom, Melanie said suddenly. Her father's fork paused midair. Yeah? What you said this morning, about her being proud. She traced patterns in the cocoa powder. Sometimes I dream about her. She always calls me Melanie in the dreams. She knew, I think, maybe not the specifics, but she knew you were struggling. He set down his fork. Before she got sick, she told me to take care of you. Said you'd need me someday, more than I could imagine. And here we are. Here we are. The drive home was quiet, comfortable. Radio played softly, some classic rock station her father favored. Melanie watched streetlights pass, each one marking progress toward home. In the driveway, her father turned off the engine, but didn't move to get out. Can I tell you something? Of course. Yesterday, when I found those pills, I was terrified. His hands gripped the steering wheel. Not of the medication, terrified that you were giving up, that I'd lose you. Dad, no, let me finish. These past months watching you become Melanie, it's like watching you come alive, like you were sleepwalking before and finally woke up. He turned to face her. I meant what I wrote in that card. This is a gift. You trusting me, letting me be part of this journey. Melanie unbuckled her seatbelt and leaned across the center console to hug him. He smelled like sawdust and marinara sauce and home. I love you, Dad. Love you too, sweetheart. Now let's get inside before the neighbors think we're weird. They laughed, climbing out of the truck. Inside, the house felt warm, welcoming. The flowers from morning still sat on the kitchen table, petals fresh and bright. Want to watch something? Her father asked. I recorded that baking show you like. The one where they make ridiculous cakes? That's the one. They settled on the couch, Melanie tucking her feet under herself. On screen, contestants frantically assembled layers of sponge and fondant. Her father provided commentary, mostly about structural integrity and load-bearing frosting. During a commercial break, he muted the television. So what happens now? What do you mean? With your transition, what comes next? Melanie pulled a throw pillow into her lap. Well, I keep taking the hormones. There are some legal things, name change, documents, eventually maybe surgery, but that's far away. Whatever you need, we'll figure it out together. It's expensive, Dad, and complicated. So was your mother's treatment. We managed. He unmuted the television as the show returned. One step at a time, right? Right. They watched 3 episodes, critiquing fondant work and design choices. Melanie's eyes grew heavy. The stress of the day, the interview, the job offer, the emotional weight of it all settled into her bones. I should head to bed, she said during credits. Good idea. Big day tomorrow. Tomorrow? First day of the rest of your life. Again. He grinned. Every day gets to be that now. She stood, stretching. That's either inspiring or exhausting. Both, probably. Night, sweetheart. Night, Dad. Upstairs, she went through her bedtime routine. Makeup removed, face washed, moisturizer applied. The hormones were working slowly but surely, her skin softer, features gradually shifting. In the mirror, Melanie looked back with tired but happy eyes. Her phone buzzed with texts from friends. Congratulations on the job, excitement about weekend plans, normal life continuing around her transformation. She responded to each one, then plugged in the phone to charge. The lavender dress hung on its hook, waiting for Saturday. 4 days away. 4 days to prepare, to practice, to become comfortable with this new chapter. She crawled into bed, pulling blankets up to her chin. Through the window, stars dotted the clear sky. Somewhere in that vast universe, her mother watched. Melanie was sure of it. "Hi, Mom," she whispered to the darkness. "I got a job today, as myself. Dad bought me flowers." No response came, but the stars seemed to twinkle brighter. Or maybe that was just tears making everything shimmer. Sleep came slowly, her mind replaying the day. Her father's face when he found the pills, his fierce hug in the hallway, the flowers waiting on the kitchen table, Margaret's welcoming smile. Each moment a small victory, adding up to something bigger. Morning would come soon enough. Another day of being Melanie, of taking medication, of moving forward instead of back. The thought no longer terrified her. Her father was right. Happiness was worth fighting for. She dreamed of bookstores and lavender dresses, of father-daughter dinners and greeting cards with butterflies. In every dream, she was herself. Fully, completely, authentically herself. The sun rose on Wednesday to find Melanie already awake, sitting at her vanity and brushing her auburn hair. 100 strokes, the way her mother used to do. The rhythm was soothing, meditative. Her father knocked on the doorframe. "You're up early?" "Couldn't sleep much. Too excited, I guess." "About Saturday?" "About everything." She set down the brush. "Is that weird?" "Not at all. Want some breakfast?" They ate oatmeal with brown sugar and sliced bananas. Simple, comforting. Her father read the newspaper while Melanie scrolled through her phone, looking at clothes online. "I need work-appropriate outfits," she explained when he peered over her shoulder. "Makes sense. Want to go shopping later?" "Really?" "Why not? I need some things from the hardware store anyway. We can make an afternoon of it." The shopping trip became an adventure. Her father followed her through department stores, offering opinions on skirts and blouses. His fashion sense leaned practical. "Can you bend over to reach low shelves in that?" But his enthusiasm never wavered. "What about this?" Melanie held up a navy dress with small white dots. "Pretty, professional, very you." She tried it on, along with several other options. Each trip to the fitting room felt like progress. The sales associate, a woman with elaborate eye makeup, offered suggestions and compliments. "Your daughter has great taste," she told Melanie's father. "She gets it from her mother," he replied without missing a beat. They left with 2 bags of clothes, the navy dress, a black skirt, several blouses in different colors, and a pair of comfortable flats perfect for standing all day. "Thank you," Melanie said as they loaded purchases into the truck. "For this? For everything." "Stop thanking me for being your dad. It's literally my job." The hardware store proved less successful. Her father spent 40 minutes debating between 2 nearly identical types of sandpaper while Melanie studied paint swatches. "We should paint your room," he said suddenly. "Whatever color you want." "Really? Why not? Fresh start and all that." She picked a soft sage green, calm and sophisticated. They bought supplies: paint, brushes, drop cloths, tape. Another project to share, another way to move forward. That evening, they cleared her bedroom furniture to the center and covered everything with plastic. Working together, they taped edges and laid drop cloths. The radio played classic rock while they painted, her father taking the high spots while Melanie handled the details around windows and doors. "You know," he said during a water break, "this is nice." "Painting?" "No, well, yes, but this, us. Talking without talking, if that makes sense." It did. The comfortable silence, the shared purpose, the simple acceptance. No big conversations needed, just a father and daughter improving their space. They finished one wall before calling it a night. The sage green looked perfect, sophisticated but warm. Tomorrow, they'd complete the job. "We make a good team," her father said, surveying their work. "We do." Thursday and Friday passed in preparation. Resume copies printed, outfit selected, nerves battled. Melanie practiced customer service scenarios in the mirror, working on voice pitch and inflection. Her father offered to role-play difficult customers, which led to increasingly ridiculous requests for books that didn't exist. "Do you have that one about the talking sandwich who solves crimes?" "Dad, be serious." "I am. Detective Reuben. Very popular series." She threw a pillow at him, laughing despite her nerves. Friday night, she barely slept. The navy dress with white dots hung ready. Her purse was packed with everything she might need: breath mints, extra hair ties, Band-Aids for potential blisters from new shoes. "You'll be fine," her father said over dinner. "Better than fine. You'll be amazing." Saturday dawned bright and clear. Melanie woke before her alarm, adrenaline already coursing. She took her time getting ready: shower, hair, makeup. Each step was deliberate, calming. The navy dress fit perfectly. Professional but not stuffy, feminine without being too much. She added small pearl earrings her mother had left her, a simple silver necklace. Downstairs, her father waited with coffee and toast. "You look perfect. Very bookstore employee." "Is that a compliment?" "The highest." He drove her to work, morning radio filling the silence. At the bookstore, he pulled into a parking spot and turned to face her. "Remember, you belong there. They hired Melanie because Melanie was the right person for the job." "What if, No what ifs. Just be yourself. That's all anyone can ask." She leaned over to hug him. "Pick me up at 5? I'll be here." The bookstore was just opening when she walked in. Margaret smiled from behind the counter. "Melanie, perfect timing. Ready for your first day?" "Ready as I'll ever be." "That's the spirit. Let me show you where to put your things." The day flew by in a blur of training videos, register practice, and learning the inventory system. Her coworkers were welcoming: an older man named Robert, who ran the history section, a college student named Amy, who managed social media, a woman named Diana, who'd worked there 15 years and knew every book in the store. "Don't worry about memorizing everything at once," Diana advised during lunch break. "It'll come naturally." Customers were mostly kind. A few gave longer looks, processing the slight mismatch between voice and appearance, but no one commented. Melanie rang up purchases, recommended titles, helped find obscure poetry collections. "You're a natural," Margaret said near the end of her shift. "How do you feel?" "Good, tired, but good." "That's normal. You did great today." At 5 exactly, her father's truck appeared outside. Melanie gathered her things, said goodbye to coworkers, and stepped into the evening air. "So?" Her father's face was eager. "How was it?" "Amazing, exhausting, perfect." She buckled her seatbelt. "I sold 12 books, learned the computer system, and nobody was weird about, I knew it would be fine. Proud of you, kiddo." They celebrated with takeout Chinese food, eating straight from containers while watching television. Melanie's feet hurt from standing, her face ached from smiling, but contentment filled every cell. "Same time tomorrow?" her father asked. "Noon to 6 tomorrow. Closing shift. I'll drive you." She worked all weekend, each shift building confidence. By Sunday evening, the register felt familiar, the inventory system made sense, and she'd begun recognizing regular customers. Monday brought a return to routine. Her father back to work, Melanie home alone until her evening shift. She used the time productively, laundry, reading, practicing makeup techniques from online tutorials. The pills were easier to take now. Each small tablet represented progress, not fear. Her body continued its slow changes, hips slightly wider, chest gradually filling out, face softening around the edges. "Looking good," her father commented over dinner. "Happy. That's the real change." He was right. Beyond physical alterations, something fundamental had shifted. The constant background noise of wrongness had quieted. In its place, peace. Not perfect, not without challenges, but peace nonetheless. Days became weeks. Melanie's shifts at the bookstore increased. She developed regulars who asked for her specifically, trusting her recommendations. Margaret mentioned potential promotion to assistant manager, pending a few months more experience. "I've never seen someone take to retail so naturally," she said during a quiet afternoon. "Most people treat it as temporary. You seem to genuinely love it." "I do," Melanie realized with surprise. "I really do." Her father continued his unwavering support. He attended her doctor appointments when asked, helped navigate insurance paperwork, celebrated small victories, the first time someone called her Miss without thinking, the day her driver's license arrived with her correct name. "Frame it," he suggested, holding the small plastic card. First official document as Melanie. "Dad, you can't frame a driver's license." "Watch me." He didn't actually frame it, but he did take a photo to save on his phone. Technology had never been his strength, but he'd learned for this. Summer arrived with its longer days and tourist customers. The bookstore stayed busy. Melanie thrived in the chaos, recommending beach reads and travel guides. Her hair had grown past her shoulders now, auburn waves that she'd learned to style in various ways. One particularly hot Thursday, a familiar face appeared at her register. Mrs. Henderson from down the street, arms full of gardening books. "Melanie, I thought that was you. How wonderful to see you working here." They chatted while Melanie rang up purchases. Natural conversation between neighbors, nothing forced or awkward. Mrs. Henderson had watched the transformation from her garden, never commenting beyond compliments on outfits. "Such a lovely girl," she told another customer after leaving. "Always so polite." The words floated back to Melanie, who stood a little straighter. Lovely girl. No qualifiers, no hesitation, just acceptance. Her father picked her up that evening, windows down to combat the heat. "Good day?" "Really good. Mrs. Henderson came in." "Oh yeah? Buy out the gardening section again?" "Pretty much." She laughed. "She called me a lovely girl," to another customer. "Because you are." He merged into traffic. "Pizza tonight?" "Too hot to cook." They ate on the back deck, watching fireflies dance in the gathering dusk. The sage-green walls of her room were visible through windows, a reminder of shared work and progress. "I've been thinking," her father said, crushing his empty beer can, "about the house." "What about it?" "It's big for just 2 people. Was thinking maybe we could rent out the basement apartment. Extra income for your medical expenses." "Dad, you don't have to." "I want to. Besides, might be nice having another person around. Gets quiet when you're at work." They discussed logistics, possibilities. The basement had its own entrance, full bathroom, kitchenette. With some minor repairs, it would make a perfect rental. "We could fix it up together," he suggested. "Like your room, but bigger." Another project, another way forward. Melanie agreed, already envisioning the work they'd share. August brought the anniversary of her mother's death. They visited the cemetery together, bringing fresh flowers. Her father stood silent at the headstone while Melanie arranged the bouquet. "Hi, Mom," she said softly. "I'm doing okay. Better than okay, actually. Dad's taking care of me. We're taking care of each other." Wind rustled through nearby trees. Her father's hand found her shoulder, squeezed gently. "Think she knows?" Melanie asked. "About all this?" "I think she's proud of you, of both of us." They stood together until the sun began to set, sharing memories and comfortable silence. The drive home was quiet, each lost in thought. Ice cream? Her father suggested as they passed a shop. She always wanted ice cream after difficult days. They sat in the parlor with massive sundaes, too much for any reasonable person to finish. Her father told stories about her mother, their first date, their wedding, small moments that built a life. She would have loved seeing you like this, he said, gesturing with his spoon. Happy? Confident? Yourself. You really think so? I know so. She had this way of seeing people's truth, even when they couldn't. He smiled at the memory. Took me years to realize she was usually right. September arrived with its hint of autumn. The bookstore geared up for back-to-school season. Melanie helped create displays, suggested titles for reading lists, managed the chaos with practiced ease. I'm promoting you, Margaret announced one morning. Assistant manager if you want it. Seriously? You've earned it. Raise included, of course. And you'll have keys, ability to open and close on your own. Melanie accepted immediately. Her father bought a cake to celebrate, chocolate with strawberry filling, her favorite since childhood. Assistant manager, he repeated, shaking his head. My daughter, the boss. Assistant boss, she corrected. Still counts. The promotion meant more responsibility, but also more fulfillment. She trained new employees, created staff schedules, helped make ordering decisions. Each task felt like validation, not just of her work, but of her whole self. Fall deepened into winter. The bookstore grew cozy with holiday displays and hot cider for customers. Melanie worked extra shifts, saving money for future medical procedures. Her father finished the basement apartment, renting it to a quiet graduate student who kept to himself. Everything's falling into place, Melanie said one snowy evening. They were decorating a small Christmas tree, the same ornaments they'd used for years. Told you it would. Her father carefully placed an angel on top. Just took some faith. And a lot of help. That's what family does. Christmas morning arrived with a gentle snowfall. They exchanged simple gifts, books for her, tools for him. But the real present was the ease between them, the comfort of being fully seen and accepted. 1 year ago, I was miserable, Melanie said over breakfast. Now I can't imagine being anyone else. Good, because I can't imagine you being anyone else either. Her father raised his coffee mug. To Melanie, to my daughter, to the future. They clinked mugs, ceramic ringing like bells. Outside, snow continued to fall, blanketing the world in fresh white. A new year approached with its promises and challenges, but for now, in this moment, everything was exactly as it should be. A father and daughter, sharing breakfast and unconditional love. The rest would come as it came. They'd face it together, one day at a time, building a life authentic and true. The lavender dress still hung in her closet, joined now by many others. Each outfit a choice, each day a small victory. Melanie had found herself, with her father's help, and that self was exactly who she was meant to be. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my other socials if you want more content, early access, behind the scenes, and more. All links down below.